Yes, my dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Very good afternoon to you guys all out there, wherever you are on the continent of Africa, in Europe, in America, Canada, Australia, or right here in Southeast Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful hot afternoon here, and welcome to the channel, Salon's Blog. It is your channel. Like the video, share the video. Let me hear from you in the comment section. Look, a lot of transfer news update for you. And before we go into the transfer news, ladies and gentlemen, statement from Chancellor Richard Reeves, yes, Chancellor Richard Reeves and Foreign Secretary David Lammy confirms that the government of UK could go to court to release Clearlake Bowley's Chelsea sale funds. Clearlake Bowley Chelsea sales funds. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this fund about? When Abramovich was pushed out, Chelsea was sold to the Clearlake Capital for $2.5 billion. Pounds. 2.5 billion pounds. And as part of the agreement in selling the club, Roman Abramovich, Chelsea owner, previous owner, in giving away the club, he agreed and made it very clear that the proceeds from the sale of the club should go to the victims of both Ukraine and Russian war. Victims of Ukraine-Russian war means that the proceeds has to be shared between Ukraine and Russia. But what are we seeing? The fund is still there after 3 years, still locked up in a Bank of England. The funds are not being released to Ukraine and Russia victims. Meanwhile, those victims need money, they need help, they need support. Now, why is the funds not released? Ladies and gentlemen, the UK government just released, they refuse to go by the initial agreement that Abramovich had with them. They want the full amount to be sent to Ukraine. They don't want Russia to benefit. Roman Abramovich said, no. When you guys were forcing me to let go of the club, what I said, the club is mine. I said, I don't need the proceeds. I don't need the money. But rather, I'm donating the proceeds from the sale to both Ukraine and Russia victims. So now that the club has been sold, you cannot come back and tell me that, we have the power, the money is in our bank, so therefore we want to send all the funds, all the money to Ukraine, leaving out Russian victims. This is what delayed the release of the funds. UK government are still insisting that they will not give a penny, a cent, a dime to Russia. Abramovich said, okay, no, that is not what we agreed on. It has to be shared between the two nations' victims. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of UK is determined to see the proceeds from the sale of Chelsea's football club to reach humanitarian causes in Ukraine. Only. In Ukraine only. This is a statement from the Chancellor of UK. In Ukraine only. Following Russia's illegal full-scale invasion, we are deeply frustrated that it has not been possible to reach agreement on this with Mr. Abramovich so far. This is a statement coming from the UK Chancellor. Now, while the door of negotiations will remain open, we are fully prepared to pursue this through the courts if required, to ensure people suffering in Ukraine can benefit from this process as soon as possible. Why are they trying to do this? Going to court for what? For Christ's sake. Okay, few months back, International Court of what is it, Hague or so, they even declared that Abramovich was forced to sell the club, and that after all the investigation, it was clear that Abramovich has no role in the war. His tie with Russian president shouldn't have any effect on his businesses in the UK. That statement alone from the court alone should have forced the hand of the UK government to give the club back to Abramovich. But they are not doing that. Rather, even the money that the owner says, okay, share it for these two nations, UK government are still pushing. They want to go to court. My goodness. They just frustrated Abramovich, and this is where Chelsea is right now. That is why Chelsea is here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I really want to understand this. UK government want to take Abramovich to court, right? For the frozen fund generated from the selling of the club, which was earlier meant to be used to help people in both Russia and Ukraine. How? Well, in that case, then Abramovich should just freeze the funds. The funds should just be there. Yeah. If those people won't have it, if the Russians won't have it, then the UK government won't have it either. It's as simple as that. Ladies and gentlemen, back to some transfer news before I let you guys go. It is hot in the afternoon. Chelsea remained very active in the race for Hugo Ekitike. Further talks have taken place yesterday. Yes, further talks have taken place, but more teams are showing interest in him right now as we speak. Frankfurt are not ruling out possibility of him leaving the current transfer window. The demand package or the demanded package remains at 100 million euro, not 90 million as I indicated earlier on. 100 million euros. Yes. And which no club has given him any offer yet. Chelsea are proposing 70 million. Chelsea are proposing 70 million. Ladies and gentlemen, official and confirmed. Dario Essugo joins Chelsea with immediate effect from Sporting for 22.3 million transfer fee. This deal was actually sealed in March, earlier this year. But now the announcement for the Portuguese midfielder. Contract valid until June 2033. Contract valid until June 2033. So Chelsea have signed another midfielder from Portugal. Official. Now it's official. As you can see the young man right there on your screen. Yeah, there he is on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. There he is on your screen. All right. Crucial talks. Yes, very crucial talks are happening right now as we speak on Jadon Sancho. Crucial moment for Jadon Sancho. Talks are already ongoing, and in the next few days, most likely today, we should be getting the confirmation of Sancho to Chelsea. Here we go. Get ready. Decision expected imminently. Decision on Jadon Sancho expected very soon. I want to celebrate Jadon Sancho. If that deal should go through, I'll celebrate it. I want Sancho to remain with Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, I want him to remain with Chelsea. Now, the Premier League is planning to make a new proposal to clubs this week. The Premier League are planning to make a new proposals to clubs this week to close the loophole that has allowed Chelsea to register a profit from selling hotels and their women's team to a sister company. This Premier League, they want to frustrate Chelsea. They want to frustrate Chelsea. Anyway, for me, somehow, good to do this. It's good. Let them go ahead and do it. Otherwise, I'm scared. These owners, they can do anything. I'm scared. They sold the Chelsea hotel to their sister company. They sold, for profit, so that they can declare more profit. They also sold Chelsea women team, also, to balance the books. All this to avoid the PSR rules. You understand it? Now, you see, these owners, they are actually genuine. They are genuine in their dealing. In business, they are genuine. They are genius in business. And I'm telling you, by the time you think this way, they have already thought. They are always ahead. When it comes to business IQ, they are genius in it. They will find a way, no matter how the Premier League try and to block them, they will find a way out. And you see, Chelsea, under this ownership, they just kept exposing the Premier League. It just shows you how many owners are ringing the FA right now, crying. Why didn't we think of this? We want you to stop them. You can imagine. That is what other owners will be doing by now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to run up. What else? It is hot in the afternoon. Yes, okay, let me go to Noni Madueke before I end with Manchester United. Let me go to Noni Madueke, right? Noni Madueke before I end with Manchester United. Ladies and gentlemen, what is in the news for Noni Madueke? It is understood Chelsea are open to offers for Noni Madueke. Another sad story to bring your way this afternoon. According to Jacob Steinberg, Chelsea, there is a feeling that Noni Madueke's development has stalled. There's a feeling within the club that Noni Madueke can no longer develop. His development has stalled. And so, it's understood. Chelsea are currently open to offers from anywhere. If the offer is good, they'll let the young man leave Chelsea. Yeah, that is the latest news we are receiving right now in terms of Noni Madueke. All right, quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just run up here. Exclusive. Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal proposal. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal proposal. Despite the crazy contract proposal, ladies and gentlemen, from the Saudi Arabia Pro League club, Bruno Fernandes wants to continue playing football in Europe. Manchester United captain wants to play at the top level in Europe. Decision made. I wish that I will hear a news like this from Victor Osimhen as well. I wish to hear something from Victor Osimhen also like this. I'll be so excited. But hey, like I said to you guys yesterday, Victor Osimhen to Chelsea is still possible. Sometimes when things are silent, there's no news coming. I know that there's an underground work ongoing, ladies and gentlemen. So it's still possible. Well, guys, what else do you want to know? I'll be back with more exclusives in the coming hours. See you guys in the next one. You see me. Shalom and peace.